Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FTR here for round 8, which is the British Grand Prix, and we're reaching the crucial stage of the championship. See, we're coming across the line to do our first lap in qualifying, which is a 1:26.5, which puts us on provisional pole position, and then we decide to do a run on mediums, and it's going quite well up until this point here. Going around the second to last corner, we actually spin the car. We were up currently on our personal best, and that was probably what we were going to start the race on. Unfortunately, we've wasted that lap, and that was it for qualifying. That's a very quick intro because qualifying was the shambles. I didn't get back to the pits in time, and spinning on that lap meant that we are actually down in P7 there on a set of softs, with our championship rival in pole position, not really where we needed to be, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Hopefully we can make our way back in the race, because it's a typical one stop. Putting on a little bit of extra fuel, and we had to restart the lobby. This is why I'm putting a setup on. Had some unwanted drivers in during qualifying that we didn't notice, that caused a bit of havoc in the race. That kind of put everyone a bit on edge. Blood might have been boiling, as you'll see, as the race is getting underway now. We've got 5 red lights, and it's away we go for the British Grand Prix. Only 3 rounds left in this league. We'll finish it around 10 if you remember. We get a pretty decent start. We get a little tap there from Funky Monkey. We hold position going through turn 1, not really ideal, but then again we've still got our front wing. Heading down into turn 4, we actually get a massive shunt there from OSIM. We don't pick up any damage, so I guess it's all fair dues there, really. There's 3 right up ahead going into that little, I don't even know what called, it's turn 3 I think? Yes, turn 3. You see now Funky Monkey trying to regain the position on OSIM. He actually runs wide, so that's going to give us a little run, maybe around the outside here. I don't know any of the coordinates on Silverstone apart from Cobbs and Stowe and Maggots and Beckett's. I think that's... No, I don't think that's preference. I don't know. Anyway, we've gone down a position, which is kind of annoying. A bit, my personal opinion, a bit of an over-aggressive move there from OSIM, who's actually spun out there. I don't know whether he just lost it on the curb going through the exit of Cobbs, or whether he actually tagged someone. That puts us back up into P7. Funky Monkey goes really wide through Beckett, so that gives us a fantastic run around the outside, down the hanger straight, and up into P6. Currently at this point, I believe we are still leading the championship after that win in Mexico. So obviously I'd ideally like to finish ahead of Evo this race. If that's not the case, then we finish as close to him as physically possible. But P6 is a start, not great but not terrible. As we're going to close up to the back of Jimmy Jones, Wax and Origin's Penk there. That's going to be a close battle. There's someone else just in front of them as well, as we've actually spun this little half spin at the exit of turn 4 there, and we had to give up the position to run a season just to not cause a massive accident. And then Webbsy comes up higher inside on the mediums. We go around the outside, we actually get a touch from Webbsy, and then I don't know whether that was intentional, I don't think it was. But we get pushed off the road a bit there. So now we're back down to P8. This is really not the start we wanted for this Grand Prix. See, Reservoir's actually closing to the back of us on those mediums. He had a qualifying base. So we go the inside of Ronassi, so now around the outside into turn 3. Pretty daring move there, a bit reckless potential on my part. But I decided I needed to get a move on with this as Funky Monkey retires in the pit lane. I believe he'd started on the wrong tyres after the restart, and he felt bad about that. As you can see, onto lap 4 now. Resident Lord's closing a little bit more, but I'm not overly worried about him. We run wide. That was a really lazy track extend by me there. You see, Webbsy's got to be inside of Jimmy Jones, so now that this is 3 cars ahead of us, 4-way fight. This is not going to end particularly well, as we're going through Maggots and Beckett's now, going to hanger straight, get a nice exit, secret to reach and overtake, and punch straight past Jimmy Jones there, up into P6. So I guess that's something, as Webbsy and Wax are now battling through Stowe. And we're going to see if we can maybe set up a move down the other second DRS zone, but Wax actually gets caught up on the back of Rosie. We go around the outside of the third test corner of the inside. There's a little bit of wheel banging there. It's all well and good, but as we come through the final corner, Wax actually turns in across us. And we've spun around and now we're back down in 10th. And that really annoyed me. So we've got to lap 8 out, we've closed up to the back, and I think we have the first 4 laps. And this is sort of like a repeat now. Gonna go at the inside of Jimmy Jones here and Ron Season. We actually brake, but then Jimmy Jones gets held up by Ron Season and he brakes halfway through the country. It's not what I expected now. We've lost our front wing, so we're gonna have to pit. And yeah, it's been manic, but not in the good way. You can see Evo is already going down the first DRS zone, going to the end of sector 1 now. We haven't even crossed the line to start lap 9 yet. And yeah, this is really not the position I want to be. That collision with Wax, I don't think that I could have avoided that. I'm not going to go and ride that curb. If you've played the F1 games, that curb is evil beyond belief. And if I go and ride that curb, then that's it, that's both of us out of the race potentially. We turned across. The collision, I should have probably waited with the other collision through Stowe, but like I said, I think everyone was a bit hot-headed and a bit pissed off that we had to restart the entire lobby. As you can see, we managed to get the undercut on Wax at Ron Season, and now we're in P7. You see, I think Jimmy Jones has spun behind us and he's retired from the session. I was praying for a safety car at this point. I have a spare set of soft tyres to use, I think. But safety car didn't come. We couldn't catch up to Osim ahead of us. We had a 50-second gap to Wax, who pitted again for softs. And we're going to do the same now. We have a margin, and we're going to go for our fastest lap at the end of lap 26 and try and salvage 1 extra point away from Resident Lord, who I believe has actually got into the lead this race, starting from the back of the grid after his qualifying ban. He's had some fantastic pace this race, but he does have, I believe, a 5-second penalty looming over his head for an infringement of sorts. Don't know what that was for, I can't remember. So he's going to try to pull out a 5-second gap. He is on the soft tyres though, so maybe there's hope. At this point I'm praying for Resident Lord to get out of that gap, but here we are starting the final lap now. This is going to be the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. See, full throttle for turns 1 and 2, going into turn 3, using up all the track on entry, again making the corner as flat as possible. Second gear and then short shift up to 3rd and 4th through turn 4, using rich and overtake all the way down the straight. Resident Lord's actually won the Grand Prix, but Evo was right behind him, and with that penalty Evo's actually going to win as we go through the first sector. But we're only green, so we're not actually purple through that sector. Going through the hairpin of Woodcut, is it? I don't know. Anyway, deploying a little bit of overtake to get some good speed going through cops, and then it's going to be hopefully a smooth run, trying to pick up any penalties, not that it's going to affect our position through Maggots and Beckett's. Using 7th gear and then flick it down to 5th. Some people use 6th, I prefer 5th just to get the extra rotation. We've gone purple through the second sector splitter, I believe 1.2 seconds up on our previous best. And so we're going through Stowe. We run a bit wide there, but we don't track extend, and then going through the final 3 corners. I love this section. Flick it in 3rd gear, short shift up to 4th, and then we just accelerate through the gears. And we come across the line. We do a 26.270, 1.8 seconds faster, which gets us the fastest lap and an extra point. But as you can see there, Resident Lord did have some penalties, and that put him behind Eva Freezy, sadly. But yeah, that's it really. There's nothing more to say about this race. I was pretty pissed off with it all. I just left. You can see there the championship. Evo's now ahead of us by 13 points. He does actually pick up a penalty this race for a collision with Arjun Samra, which will be applied at the end of the Dutch Grand Prix, which will be coming very soon. Resonet's closing to back of us, but I don't really see him as a threat for the rest of the championship, and AlphaTauri is extending their lead to a degree over Renault. But yeah, that's it really. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for round 9 at the Dutch Grand Prix very soon.